You might find it hard to believe that those once shining brightly on the red carpet, from actors and singers to even politicians, are now living behind bars. This isn't a rumor. It's a shocking truth, and the stories behind them are even more dramatic than their former fame. From life-changing twists to irreversible wrong decisions, their lives have taken a tragic turn few could have imagined. In today's video, let's explore who is currently serving time, the reasons behind their downfall, and especially one name that will surely leave you stunned. Are you ready to step into this little-known world? Have you ever been surprised to find out that a star or politician went through such a major downfall? If you've heard or know about any of their stories, type 1. If not, comment 0. What do you think is the reason behind these tragedies? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to support me, because there are plenty more exciting and unexpected stories waiting for you to discover. Let's start this journey together. For decades, Robert Sylvester Kelly, better known by his stage name, R. Kelly, was one of the most influential artists in R&B music. With his distinctive voice and hits played at weddings, parties, and intimate moments, R. Kelly was once a familiar and beloved figure worldwide. However, behind the stage lights and the applause of fans, doubts and controversies began to emerge. The first reports started circulating in the early 2000s, shaking the image of a star once thought untouchable. In 2002, he faced allegations after a controversial video surfaced. However, by 2008, he was acquitted following a trial. At that time, his career continued to flourish, and many in the entertainment industry as well as the public remained silent. Everything changed in 2019 with the release of the documentary series Surviving R. Kelly. This film gave a voice to the women connected to the artist, shedding new light on a story that had spanned decades. The impact of the documentary was undeniable. Public opinion began to shift and reevaluate the entire case. Shortly after, federal and state law enforcement agencies brought forth specific charges. In 2022, R. Kelly was sentenced to 30 years in prison in New York for crimes involving serious legal violations. The artist, once known for the hit song "I Believe I Can Fly," an inspiring anthem, is now living a completely different reality. His story serves not only as a warning about the dangers of power and fame, but also as proof that no one is above the law. His artistic legacy has been overshadowed by his personal actions, leaving a big question mark in the hearts of his fans. For over a decade, Jared Fogle was known as a symbol of healthy living in the United States. His story of losing over 90 kilograms by following a Subway sandwich diet quickly made him the official spokesperson for the brand. Fogle frequently appeared in promotional campaigns, visited schools, and gave many inspirational speeches seen as a testament to the power of positive change and self-discipline. To the public, Jared was a beacon of hope and self-improvement. But behind that bright image, a far more serious reality was quietly unfolding, one that eventually came to light. In 2015, the carefully crafted image of Jared Fogle came crashing down after an FBI investigation. Authorities searched his home in Indiana and uncovered thousands of illegal files related to serious criminal activities. The investigation further revealed more complex details, showing that Fogle had traveled across multiple states for inappropriate purposes and engaged in misconduct connected to the charity he founded. These revelations sparked a strong public and media backlash. Immediately after the information was made, Public Subway quickly announced the termination of all ties with Jared Fogle and removed all his images from their promotional campaigns, as well as the company's media history. Faced with clear evidence, Jared Fogle agreed to plead guilty in a deal with federal prosecutors. At the end of 2015, he was sentenced to 15 years and 8 months in prison. According to the sentence, the earliest possible time for parole consideration is around 2029. Once seen as a symbol of success and determination, Jared Fogle is now facing a completely different reality. Without public support and losing the platform that once made him famous, the image of the subway hero has become a forgotten part of the past. Jared Fogle's story serves as a serious reminder that fame does not grant immunity from the consequences of one's personal actions. A reputation can be built over many years but can also be lost in an instant if ethical values and responsibility are not maintained. Fame is fragile, and the public always expects consistency between the outward image and the actions behind the scenes. For many years, the Duggar family was widely known through the popular reality TV show 19 Kids and Counting. They were portrayed as icons of traditional family values, strong faith, and disciplined lifestyles. Images of a large family filled with love, discipline, and closeness resonated with millions of viewers. For many, the Duggar family was more than just entertainment. It was an ideal model of morality, Christian spirit, and dedication to parenting. However, behind the media spotlight, a serious truth gradually came to light, centered around the eldest son, Josh Duggar. In 2015, previously sealed police investigation documents were unexpectedly released, revealing that Josh Duggar had engaged in inappropriate behavior with several minors, including some within his own family. Because the incidents were beyond the statute of limitations, no criminal charges were filed, but the public reaction was intense. Shortly after the TLC network decided to cancel the Duggar family's show, the carefully built image Josh had maintained for years quickly crumbled, shaking the trust that viewers once had in the entire family. However, the serious issues did not end there. In 2021, federal investigators charged Josh Duggar with possession and receipt of illegal content involving minors. Investigators described the severity of the evidence as particularly disturbing throughout their work. Despite vigorous defense efforts by his lawyers, the jury found him guilty. In 2022, Josh Duggar was sentenced to 12 years and 7 months in prison. According to his sentence, the earliest he can be considered for release is in 2032. The Duggar family had once been known for openly preaching about moral responsibility, discipline, and strong religious faith. Therefore, what happened to Josh Duggar was not only a shock to the public, but also a profound challenge for the family itself regarding the consistency between words and actions. Once seen as a symbol of traditional family values, Josh Duggar is now remembered as a cautionary tale about the collapse of a public image and the inevitable consequences when personal behavior contradicts the values one claims to represent. Josh Duggar's story serves as a warning to us all. No image, no matter how carefully crafted, can replace genuine honesty and responsibility in life. Josh Duggar's story reminds us that true value doesn't come from outward appearances, but from honesty and responsibility in every action we take. Let's work together to build a society where words and actions always align so that everyone can be proud of themselves and the values they represent. If you agree, please share this video to spread this important message, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss more meaningful stories ahead. In the early 2000s, Ian Watkins, frontman of the Welsh rock band Lost Prophets, was seen as a voice of a new generation. With his intense stage presence, rebellious image, and emotionally charged lyrics, the band quickly became an international phenomenon, filling major venues and topping music charts. To millions of fans, Watkins was the embodiment of raw energy and the spirit of alternative rock. But behind the bright stage lights lay a much darker truth. In 2012, police launched an investigation related to drug offenses and searched Ian Watkins' home. The results of the search shocked even seasoned investigators, revealing suspicious digital files, disturbing messages, and evidence of serious criminal behavior, particularly involving minors. The scope of the evidence went far beyond anyone's expectations and sent shockwaves through the public. By 2013, Ian Watkins was convicted on multiple serious charges, including child exploitation. The case also involved 2 women, both mothers, who participated in the offenses and were also sentenced to prison. These revelations deeply shook the fan community, leaving many stunned and profoundly disappointed. In December 2013, the court sentenced Watkins to 29 years in prison, followed by 6 years of supervised release after serving his sentence. Later, he received an additional 10 months in prison for possessing a contraband phone while in custody. As a result, the earliest possible release date could be sometime in the 2040s. The fallout from the case was swift and severe. Lost Prophets disbanded almost immediately, and their music was pulled from radio stations and streaming platforms around the world. Many former fans chose to destroy their albums as a way to distance themselves from the frontman's horrific actions. Watkins went from being a beloved artist and celebrated icon of modern rock. In the 1970s, Gary Glitter, born Paul Gadd, was one of the brightest stars of the glam rock scene. With his glittery performances, flamboyant outfits, and signature platform boots, he quickly became a symbol of a high-energy, free-spirited musical era. His songs echoed through stadiums, and his albums sold millions of copies worldwide. To fans, Gary Glitter seemed like an unstoppable force, a representation of the prosperity and flashiness of the time. But behind the dazzling stage lights, a disturbing truth was slowly coming to light, one that would ultimately destroy his career and reputation. In 1999, the first major scandal broke when Glitter was convicted of possessing illegal images involving minors. The news caused a global uproar and severely damaged his reputation. After serving his sentence, he attempted to stay out of the spotlight by moving from place to place, but the stigma followed him relentlessly. In 2006, Glitter was convicted again in Vietnam for inappropriate behavior involving young girls. Upon returning to the UK in 2015, he faced new charges under Operation U-Tree, a major investigation into historical offenses committed by public figures. As a result, he was convicted of multiple offenses dating back to the 1970s and 1980s and was sentenced to 16 years in prison. In early 2023, after serving nearly half of his sentence, Gary Glitter was released under strict supervision. However, just weeks later, he violated the terms of his release by accessing restricted content on a personal device, leading to his swift return to prison. Today, the former glam rock star lives a completely different life, imprisoned and widely condemned by society. He is no longer remembered for his music, but for the harm and scandals that destroyed his career. Gary Glitter's story serves as a powerful reminder that fame may delay punishment, but it cannot erase accountability or the consequences of wrongful actions. For many years, Danny Masterson was a familiar and beloved face to millions of television viewers. He was best known for his role as Stephen Hyde on the hit sitcom That 70s Show, portraying a cool, sarcastic character with a natural charm. To fans, Masterson was an essential part of an ensemble cast that left a lasting mark on a generation of American comedy. However, in real life, serious allegations began to surface, leading to the swift downfall of his career. The major turning point came in 2017 when multiple women, including former members of the Church of Scientology, of which Masterson was also a member, came forward with accusations. They accused him of sexual assault dating back to the early 2000s. Although Masterson firmly denied all allegations, the fallout was swift. His talent agency dropped him, and Netflix removed him from the series The Ranch. What followed was a prolonged legal battle that drew widespread public attention. The first trial in 2022 ended in a mistrial as the jury was unable to reach a unanimous verdict. However, the retrial in 2023 produced a very different outcome. Testimonies from the victims not only detailed the assaults, but also described the threats and harassment they endured after coming forward, especially from individuals connected to the Church of Scientology. The jury found Danny Masterson guilty on 2 out of 3 charges. In September 2023, the judge handed down a severe sentence, 30 years to life in prison. He was immediately taken into custody, marking the end of a career once thought untouchable in the world of Hollywood comedy. Masterson's downfall was swift and irreversible. Today, he is no longer remembered as a popular sitcom actor, but as a stark warning about the limits of fame. His case underscores an important lesson: fame cannot shield someone from personal accountability, and while justice may be delayed, it will ultimately be served. At just 19 years old, Elizabeth Holmes dropped out of Stanford University with a vision to revolutionize the medical industry. She founded Theranos, a company that promised to run hundreds of blood tests using just a single drop of blood. With her signature black turtleneck, deep voice, and captivating presence, Holmes was quickly hailed as the next Steve Jobs of the tech world. Investors rushed in and she raised nearly $1 billion. In 2015, Forbes named her the youngest self-made female billionaire in the world. But behind the spotlight, Theranos' technology never truly worked. The test results were inaccurate, leading to incorrect diagnoses for many patients. Instead of fixing the problems, Holmes was accused of deceiving investors' doctors and the public, maintaining a false image of her revolutionary technology. By 2018, the truth could no longer be hidden. Holmes was charged with fraud and conspiracy, leading to a high-profile trial that captivated Silicon Valley. In January 2022, the jury found her guilty on 4 counts. Later that year, she was sentenced to 11 years and 3 months in prison. In May 2023, Holmes began serving her sentence at a federal prison in Texas. Once hailed as the woman who would revolutionize medicine, she has now become a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked ambition. Holmes's story reminds us never to judge others just by appearances, and that trust is crucial in every relationship. Have you ever felt misunderstood or hurt because someone misjudged you based on how you looked? If yes, leave a 1. If not, comment 0. I'd love to hear your story in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so we can explore more fascinating stories together. Thanks for joining me, and see you in the next part.